Members, good morning. This is the appointed time, 11:30. Welcome to the first meeting of the panel on Home Affairs, Culture and Sports. Happy New Year to you all. As Deputy Chair of the panel in the last legislative session, we now proceed to election of chairman for the panel on Home Affairs, Culture and Sports. Now, a notice has been issued by the Secretariat as at the end of the nomination period, only one valid nomination has been received, and the member so nominated is Mr. Vincent Chang, nominated by Mr. Chen Yong and seconded by Mr. Ma Fung Kwok, as Mr. Vincent Chang is not chair or deputy chair of any electoral panel or government advisory body. In accordance with the rules of procedure and the House rules, I declare Mr. Vincent Chang returned chair of the panel on Home Affairs, Culture and Sports for this session. So that concludes my work here. Mr. Chang will have the floor to elect the deputy chair. Thank you, Mr. Kenneth Fok. Let me congratulate Mr. Kenneth Fok for being elected as chair of the Arts Development Council. We rely on your help and support in the coming session, and let me continue with the election process, and I thank members for their support on arts, culture and sports. We've managed to complete a lot of tasks, and we have new faces this year. We have a lot on our plate, so do support us. It's now time to elect a deputy chair for the panel, and again the Secretariat has issued a notice. That's at the end of the nomination period. Only one valid nomination has been received for the position of deputy chair. The candidate so nominated is Ms. Jo Fee Chan, nominated by Mr. Kenneth Fok and seconded by Mr. Benson Look. As Ms. Chan is not chair or deputy chair of any panel or government advisory body, in accordance with the ROP and House rules, I declare Ms. Jo Fee Chan returned deputy chair of the panel on Home Affairs, Culture and Sports for this session. Congratulations. So let's move on to the agenda proper. About the schedule of meetings, members, Appendix 3 sets out the schedule of meetings for this session, and that is 4:30 to 6:30 of the second Monday of every month, and that's the schedule of our regular meetings, except for the Easter holidays in April. The meeting in April is rescheduled. If there is no objection, then we endorse this schedule. Next, items for discussion at the next meeting. The next meeting will be held at 4:30 on Monday on the 13th of February. The administration is proposed to discuss two items. First, support for athletes with disabilities, and second, community care fund. So if there are no further comments, these two items will be discussed at the next meeting. Now I'll throw open the floor. Last year, members raised certain concerns, so it's now time for members to discuss items for discussion in the coming session, so that Deputy Chair and myself can discuss with the Secretary and Under-Secretary in order to discuss policies and items close to members' hearts. We have altogether 8 members waiting to speak. Each member will have 2 minutes. We start with Mr. Kenneth Leung. Thank you, Chairman. I have 2 suggestions. I hope these items can be included in the list. About Hong Kong Games 2025, the preparation work. We're now in 2023. It's just 2 years away from the event. In order to foster collaboration in the Greater Bay Area and foster sports culture in the community, I'd like to ask the administration about the preparation. We need volunteers, and we also need to encourage wider public participation. Next, I see some items related to youth affairs in the list. So my other suggestion is whether we can have a discussion on the scheme for member self-recommendation for youth, be it the policy address and the youth development blueprint. There are suggestions to enhance young people's sense of being their own masters and enhance their engagement in the discussion of public affairs. So this can happen at the district level. I hope we will discuss this item within this session. Secretary Mac and the panel reached a consensus. A subcommittee was set up in the last session. The subcommittee's work has come to an end. Now, in this new session, let me reflect your view to her and see if we can set up another subcommittee. Right, we do have another self-recommendation scheme at the district level. This is a new initiative. I'd like you to bring this view back to the administration and see if we can discuss the new elements as well. Chair, about the schedule of meetings, it seems that the plenary session will begin on the 3rd of March this year, and I believe quite a number of members will be in Beijing. We haven't finalized the meeting schedule for the plenary sessions yet, but I just want to make sure that as many members can take part in the panel meetings as possible. It would be a pity otherwise. Yes, I understand it's been slightly postponed this year. Yes, Ms. Chen. Apart from the list of outstanding items for discussion, in the policy address, Chief Executive proposes to set up a committee for major events and mega events. As we embarked on a journey of recovery, I think we should discuss this as soon as possible, because when it comes to arts and cultural events, we need collaboration with the mainland and other countries so as to promote highlight events. So after the establishment of this committee, we should invite them to have a meeting with us. Now that's about arts and culture. What about sports? Another member mentioned the national games and international sports events. What about local major sports events? We need to discuss that. And for other major cities around the world, is it possible to have a duty visit to see some of the countries hosting these events? And we need to prepare early. Thank you, Ms. Chen. Yes, the committee will be set up very soon, and I also agree we should discuss major sports events as well. Now, I'm a member of the M Event Committee of the Sports Commission this year. I understand that the government will be relaxing the vetting criteria for M-Mark events so that more can be held. Yes, this panel can discuss these items as well. Yes, but we should start early because we're talking about preparation for events that will take place 1 year later. So you should advance this item so that we can start preparation early. Next, Mr. Benson Look, I have two suggestions. The Youth Development Blueprint was published on the 20th of December last year. Secretary Mac said that the blueprint will be subject to continuous review. But we also need discussion by this panel to gauge the effectiveness of the blueprint's implementation. So there should be a discussion by the end of this year, about 1 year after the promulgation of the blueprint, so that we can review altogether the effectiveness of the blueprints and also whether the government meets the KPIs. Also, in the past few years, our elite athletes have achieved great results in international sports events. At the same time, there are discussions about the treatment for our elite athletes at different levels. So we should make sure they are given the necessary support for them to compete in international and major games. So I'd like to discuss this item as well. Next, Mr. Andrew Lam. Thank you, Chair. The Youth Development Blueprint refers to supporting the development of uniform groups. And I need to declare that I also participate in one of the uniform groups. So I'd like to know more about the government's effort in further promoting the development of uniform groups and the interactions with the community. Right, understood, noted. Your comment has been jotted down, I believe. Next, Mr. Adrian Ho. Thank you, Chair. I'm a new member here, so I seek your guidance. And this year, I hope that the panel can discuss this item close to my heart about the inadequacy and lack of sports facilities. I've received complaints from many districts about the dilapidated condition of some of the sports facilities and that they are not suitable for children, they are not suitable for sports in general. So the government should enhance maintenance and repair. And about ticket scalping of LCSD venues in particular, I'd like to know the government's combating measures. Yes, we discussed this last year, and we'll further discuss with the government on the up-to-date measures. Next, Mr. Yeo Pak Lang. I'm concerned about the integrated development of the arts, culture, sports, and tourism. The Bureau has been set up for some time. In terms of the panel on home affairs, culture, and sports, I think that we discuss home affairs as well as culture and sports, whereas the tourism, these matters are discussed by the panel on economic development. So I propose joint meetings with them on integrated development of arts, culture, and tourism. Also, what are the government's strategies in this regard? I'd like to explore them with the government. At the moment, it seems that these areas are segregated. This leaves much more to be desired. All right, let's wait after the panel has elected their chairman, and then we will discuss with them. Mr. Chen Yong. I see we have altogether 17 items for discussion on the list. So it's about according priority to items, and I just want to know more about the list. Yes, apart from the items suggested by members, the government also proposes some items such as the care teams, comprising volunteers and electoral matters. So perhaps we can discuss 3 items at certain meetings. We'll do our best. Next, Ms. Jovi Chan. Thank you, Chair. First of all, I thank Mr. Kenneth Fok for his nomination and Mr. Benson Look for his seconding the nomination. I am the Deputy Chair. In the policy address, there are proposals to promote youth development, culture, and sports so that we can promote elite sports, sports for all, as well as developing the sports industry. And we can further discuss implementation of the Youth Development Blueprint. This year, a major sports event will be held in our country. It deserves our support. As our economy resumes normal, we can take a delegation to the mainland. For example, on the 23rd of September in Hangzhou, the Asian Games will begin, and we should lead a delegation of youth to this event, and we can enhance publicity in advance for more young people to take part in the games. The Asian Games in Hangzhou will run from the 23rd of September to the 8th of October. I see that we have a meeting on the 9th of October. Let's see if we can reschedule this meeting so that we can lead a youth delegation to at least feel the sentiment or even take part in the Asian Games in Hangzhou.
Ms. Nixie Lam is not here today. Perhaps she will let us know her suggestions later. I think all your suggestions are worth discussing, but we have about 10 regular meetings to cover about 20 discussion items, not including work that the administration would like to share with us. So we will prioritize the different items to see how we can ensure that we include most of the items. Some members mentioned that we visited a lot of places last year, including the Palace, Museum, and as well as the West Kowloon Cultural District and M+. I understand that you all are concerned about the development of the Kai Tak Sports Park and the progress of the construction work, as well as the HKSI. We'll see how we can arrange more visits in the coming year as normal travel has resumed between Hong Kong and China. I understand that a lot of countries are holding major sports events to attract more tourists. There are a lot of places we can visit. We can think about where we want to go. Well, Ms. Nixie Lam is back. Yes. I have a suggestion. We mentioned about the various commissions and committees for young people to recommend themselves as members at the district level. In district councils, we had discussions about different construction works, and we lack comments or views from experts on architecture and designs and so on. We can talk about the composition of the district committees and commissions and see how we can incorporate more young people into these commissions and committees. Thank you for the comments. We will discuss this with the administration. We'll proceed to last item. Any other business? If not, we will conclude the meeting today. Thank you.